Explore what happens to water when it flows over and through objects of different shapes and sizes. Tap an object to move it to the wall. Then tap on Del to move the hose. The water is flowing over the umbrella. How many different ways can you fill the containers on the ground? Tap on a container to empty it. The water is going through the pipe. The water is filling the cup. The water is bouncing off the ladle. The dog is thirsty. Move the hose to fill up the dog's water dish. You made the dog so happy! A wooden board is blocking the water. Move the hose and put objects on the wall to create a path for the water to reach the dog's dish. Thank you for giving the thirsty dog some water. Now how will you get the water into the bowl? You made the dog so happy! Can you think of another way to fill the dog's bowl? Dogs drink lots of water when they are hot. You made the dog so happy! Dogs need to drink a lot of water when it's hot outside. Tap an object to put it into the water. Does it sink or float? The bowl floats. What happens when you put an object into the bowl? Can you make a floating object sink? Tap the red whistle to clear the pool. The beach ball floats. Sometimes big things float. Tap the red whistle to clear the pool. Tap the red whistle to clear the pool. The marble sinks. Sometimes small things sink. Explore what happens when objects go down the slide. A slide is a kind of ramp. Ramps have one end higher than the other. Tap an object to move it to the top of the slide. Why does it roll? Round things roll. Why does it slide? Objects with flat surfaces slide. Does it roll or slide? The bulldozer can keep the room clean. Does it roll or slide? Why does it roll? The bulldozer can keep the room clean. Let's aim for the target. Use the ramp to get the object on the target. You didn't reach the target. Do you need to raise the ramp or lower the... You didn't reach the target. Do you need to... Your ramp was just steep enough to reach the target. Tap an object to move it to the top of... That went too far. How can you change the ramp to make it stop sooner? You didn't reach the target. Do you... Your ramp was just steep enough to reach the target. Tap an object to move it to the top of the ramp. Your ramp was just steep enough to reach the target. A ball rolls differently on bubble wrap. The bubble wrap is too grass. Tap on a tile. Tap the bubble wrap. Tap on a surface that you would bubble wrap. The bubble wrap is too bumpy. Grass. The grass is too squished. Wood. Ice. Sandpaper. Bubble wrap. The bubble wrap is too bumpy. Ice. The ball went too far. Brick. Sandpaper. Sandpaper. Let's explore shadows. Tap to add objects to the scene to observe their shadows. The object blocks the light from the sun. The sun is high in the sky. That makes a very short shadow. Where is the sun when you see a very long shadow? What size is the shadow when the sun is high in the sky? Shadows look different depending on where the sun is in the sky. Tap to add objects to the scene. Move the sun and observe what happens to their shadows. Compare the shadows of different objects. What do you notice? Where is the sun? Some objects block the sun more than others. Compare the shadow of the bike to the shadow of a building. Some objects block the sun more than others. Compare the shadow of the swings to the shadow of the slide. Compare the shadow of the cactus to the shadow of the wagon. How are the shadows the same? How are they different? What's making that shadow? Look closely at the shadow. What happens to the shadow if you move it farther from the light? Look closely at the shadow. What happens to the shadow? Tap on a thermometer to see what the temperature is. A thermometer is a tool that tells you how hot or cold something is. The higher the number on the digital thermometer, the hotter the temperature. Tap the arrow to change the scene. The liquid in the thermometer rises when the temperature is warm or hot. What does the thermometer look like when the temperature is cold? Look where the needle stops on a dial thermometer. Dark blue is freezing cold, and red. Look where the needle stops on a dial. Drag the circle up and down the thermometer to change the temperature and control the weather. What happens when you tap the cloud button? You made it snow! Dell's ready for a swim. Tap the thermometer. D is dressed for a warm day. Tap the thermometer that shows it is warm. Dot's ready for warm weather. Tap the thermometer that shows that it is warm. Dell's ready for a D is dressed for. Dot is dressed. Dell is dressed for. D is Dot is dressed for cold weather.